So when you hear the word UFO, where's the first place you look? Up, right? Towards the stars. But what if we should be looking around us instead? In this explainer, we are diving deep into a really radical theory from an independent researcher named Jay Alfred, and it suggests the strange things people are seeing aren't from other star systems, but from another version of Earth itself. And that one question right there just totally flips the script on what most people assume, the whole extraterrestrial hypothesis, the idea that these things are coming from other planets. But that idea, it's actually got a lot of problems. So we're going to unpack an alternative that changes the entire game. What if these phenomena aren't extraterrestrial, but inter-terrestrial? Okay, so before we can really get into this new idea, we've got to talk about why the old one, the classic alien theory, is, well, kind of shaky. Let's dig into the problems. Now, Jay Alfred boils it all down to four main challenges. First up, you've got the sheer physics of interstellar travel. It's a huge problem. Second, the return on investment. I mean, why come all this way just to play hide and seek? Third, the messages themselves. And finally, number four, the high strangeness. All the bizarre, paranormal-like stuff that happens around sightings that the classic alien theory just has no answer for. The biggest, most obvious problem, distance. I mean, we are talking vast interstellar distances. The kind of journey that would take unbelievable amounts of energy and time. And for the number of sightings people report, the logistics of sending physical ships back and forth across star systems, it just doesn't add up. It's a massive cost for what seems to be a very, very small return. And then you have the messages. Think about it for a second. Why would a civilization from a whole other galaxy care so much about our planet's pollution or our nukes? Alfred argues this makes way more sense if the messengers have a real stake in our planet's survival, because, well, they're already here. All right, so if they're not coming from the stars, where in the world are they from? And this is where it gets really interesting. This is the core of the new idea from Jay Alfred, who's an independent researcher in plasma and dark astrobiology, and he calls it the inter-terrestrial hypothesis. Okay, so at its core, the inter-terrestrial hypothesis, suggests that we are basically sharing our planet with a whole other biosphere, one that doesn't exist on our surface, but in a parallel, unseen reality, made of a completely different kind of matter, a dark Earth that's literally tied to our own by gravity. And here it is, in his own words. Alfred theorizes that these beings are not flesh and blood. They're life forms made of self-interacting dark plasma. What he's saying is there could be a totally different kind of biology existing right alongside us, completely unseen. Now, think about what this means. These two worlds, ours and theirs, they wouldn't be fighting over the same stuff. We're carbon-based life. We need sunlight, water, organic molecules. They, on the other hand, would be plasma-based, pulling their energy from things like electromagnetic sources. It's like two different realities layered on top of each other, but not getting in each other's way. Okay, I know what you're thinking. A parallel dark plasma Earth? That is a huge leap. But here's where this theory really shows its strength. It might actually explain all the super weird stuff UAPs do, the things that seem to just break the laws of physics as we know them. So how do these things appear solid one minute and then just gone the next? Or look metallic and then suddenly become see-through? The ITH suggests the answer isn't some fancy cloaking device from Star Trek. No, it's just the fundamental physics of plasma. According to Alfred, a plasma object's visibility all comes down to something called its plasma frequency and how that relates to the light around it. So first up, you have glow mode. This is when the plasma's frequency is really high. It bounces light right off, making the UAP look shiny, metallic, and totally solid. But what happens if this life form lowers its plasma frequency so it's less than the light around it? Well, the light just passes right on through. Poof. It becomes transparent. It's basically invisible. And that's transparent mode. And then there's a third, kind of creepy state. What if the plasma frequency perfectly matches the light around it? It actually absorbs the light, and what you see is just a dark, shadowy shape. They call this dark mode. And just like that, all that weird shape-shifting behavior, it suddenly has a potential physical explanation. So when you put it all together, this plasma model gives us a physical reason for all that high strangeness we hear about. Instant acceleration, right-angle turns that would turn any pilot into mush. Not a problem if you're basically a coherent cloud of plasma. Appearing and disappearing? Just a shift in frequency. Even the paranormal stuff like telepathy could, in theory, be explained as communication using electromagnetic waves. Now this is the cool part. This isn't just some wild sci-fi story. Alfred's hypothesis is actually testable, and it gives us a whole new way to search for non-human intelligence, right here at home. For decades, we've had SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, pointing giant radio dishes at the stars, just listening. Alfred is basically saying, maybe we should turn those instruments around and start SITI, the search for inter-terrestrial intelligence, designed to look for weird anomalies right here on Earth. Okay, but hold on. Is there even enough dark stuff here to build a whole dark Earth? Well, the answer might be a shocking yes. Get this. Data from atmospheric neutrino studies suggests that up to 20% of our planet's total mass could be dark matter. The raw materials, it seems, might already be here. So this table from Alfred's work kind of maps it all out, ranking the probabilities. Way up top, the most likely phenomena are just simple, non-intelligent plasma blobs in our own atmosphere. Ball lightning, that sort of thing. But look at what's next. Intelligent inter-terrestrials from a dark Earth are rated as moderately probable. And way down at the bottom of the list, the classic extraterrestrials from other star systems, he considers that the least probable explanation of all. So let's just step back for a second and think about the truly massive implications if any of this is correct. It would fundamentally change our entire understanding of our place in the universe, and even on our own planet. This also offers a chillingly elegant solution to the Fermi paradox, that famous question, where is everybody? The great silence from the cosmos might not mean we're alone. It might just mean the neighbors are already home, living in a reality right next to ours. And just consider the timelines for a moment. If a dark biosphere evolved alongside ours, its civilizations could be ancient. We are not talking about thousands of years older than us. We could be talking billions of years. We could be the newcomers on a planet that has been inhabited for eons. And as Jay Alfred himself says, this all reinforces the Copernican principle. Just as we once learned we weren't the center of the solar system, we may have to accept that we aren't even the only intelligent life on our own world. So, we'll leave you with this. For over 70 years, we've been scanning the heavens, listening for a signal from deep space. But maybe we've been looking in the wrong direction this whole time. What if the greatest discovery in human history isn't waiting for us out there in the stars, but is right here, living in the shadows of our own world?